What's up, everybody? This is Tonville Legend 826. Hello, Pirates and Eagles. Today I'm going to show you a game that took place in 1858 between the one and only Paul Morphy and two black players, Karl, Duke of Brunswick, and Comte Isouard de Vaugouvin-Gourgourès. Paul Morphy had the white pieces, and the two black players, had the black pieces. So anyway, Paul Morphy started with pawn to e4. The black players then played pawn to e5. Morphy then played knight to f3. And the Duke and Isouard played d6, the Philidor defense. This is a pretty good opening, but it's also considered to be sometimes passive, so, it could also have its own drawbacks here. And d4 is played. And the two players played bishop to g4, which is not a very good move because, there's some logic involved, but a better move is knight to d7 in my opinion. But anyways, so d captures on e5. Now obviously if the pawn captured, if the pawn on d6 captured the pawn on e5, then white would take the queen on d8 with check, and then after the king captures, then the knight would take the pawn on e5. So black loses a pawn, and he loses the right to castle. So he has to play bishop takes on f3. And then after that, queen takes on f3. And then pawn takes on e5. And then bishop to c4 was played. And then knight to f6, which isn't really a good move, but it's kind of hard to see this in 1858. Queen then moves to b3. Then the black players move their queen to e7. Morphy played knight to c3. The black players played c6. Then Morphy played bishop to g5. And then the black players played b5. Then the knight captured on b5. Sacrificing it because that wasn't a very good move what he did. And then the pawn on c6 captured the knight on b5. And then the bishop captured on b5 with check. And then the knight from b8 moved to d7 to block the check. And you notice that both knights are pinned. This is a very inferior position for the black side. Even though the black side has material advantage, development-wise, it's not looking too good. So after this, white castled queenside. And then the black players moved the rook to d8. Then Morphy captured the knight on d7. And then black captured the rook on d7. And then Morphy played the last remaining rook to d1. The black players moved the queen to e6, hoping to trade the queens, but Morphy, of course, does not give him the chance to do this. The bishop captures on d7 with check. The knight captures on d7. And then the last two moves. The first move, of course, is a thunderbolt. I'm sure you can probably see it. Queen to b8 check. A queen sacrifice. The only move left is to capture the queen. And then the rook moves to d8, giving checkmate. Look at the position. The black players are up a knight and a queen. Material-wise, they should be winning this game. But you notice that the black rook and the black bishop on the king side never even moved once during the entire game. And white's last remaining pieces are both participating in the attack to trap black's king. All the pieces function from the white side doing something useful, while the black pieces, most of them are just simply sitting around not really doing all that much. This game shows the importance of development, of getting all your pieces doing something useful in the game, and sometimes material isn't all that important all the time. While it is important, there are some times when material isn't the ultimate factor in everything, and this is one of those games which show this. So, that was the 1858 Oprah game. Any questions or comments, leave on YouTube. Thank you very much. Tonville Legend 826 out.